All right, let's talk about the COBE. For any high school student in Israel, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The computerized oral Bagrut exam. It feels like the final boss at the end of your English studies. And yeah, it can be a pretty big deal.
So, are you a little nervous about it? Look, if you are, that is totally 100% normal. I mean, come on. You're talking to a computer, you're on a timer, and it's for your Bagrut grade. So yeah, the pressure is definitely real.
But here's the thing. What if we just flip the script on this? What if instead of a terrifying exam, we think of the COBE as a game? A game that has very clear rules, a few different levels, and a high score that you are absolutely capable of getting.
And every good game player knows you need a strategy guide. A little cheat sheet, you know? Well, that's exactly what this is. We're going to break down the entire game for you so you know exactly how to play and, more importantly, how to win.
Okay, so game on. First things first, you can't win if you don't know the rules. So let's get into the basic mechanics of how this whole thing works.
The game is basically split into 3 levels. Level A is your personal response, worth a solid 25 points. Level B is where you talk about your project, also worth 25 points. And then there's Level C, the response to a video. This is the big one, worth a massive 50 points. Half your score is riding on this part alone.
And here is the catch, the main challenge of the game. You've only got 30 minutes. And that's not just for talking. That's for listening, thinking, recording, and hitting that submit button. That ticking clock is a huge part of the game, which is why having a strategy is so important.
Okay, I need you to listen to this because this is the most important rule. It's non-negotiable. The official rules say, and I'm quoting here, reading from notes will get you a 0 for that section. A big fat 0. Seriously, they want to hear you talk naturally and spontaneously, not hear you read a script.
All right, let's dive into Level 1, your personal story. Think of this as the warm-up round. It's all about you, your ideas, your opinions. And for 25 points, it's a great chance to start off strong.
So what kind of questions are they going to throw at you? Well, it's stuff you already think about. Things like living a healthy life or what respect really means. These are not trick questions. They're basically just asking for your opinion. The best strategy here is a simple combo. State your point, give an example from your life, and then explain why you think that way. That's it. That's the formula.
Okay, warm-up's over. Let's move on to Level 2, your project showcase. You've already done all the hard work on your research project, right? So this part, for another 25 points, is your chance to shine and show them what you learned.
And you know the best part about this level? The exam actually gives you some power-ups. Think of these phrases as your secret weapon. You don't have to make up a structure on the spot. Just practice telling the story of your project using these. Start with, I chose to do my project on. Walk them through it, and then land the punch with, the most interesting thing I learned was. Practice that flow, and you'll sound super confident.
All right, take a deep breath. We have arrived at Level 3, the video challenge. We're calling it the final boss for a very good reason. It's worth half your entire score, 50 points. This is where you really have to bring it.
So, how do you beat this final boss? It's a simple 1-2 punch. First, just describe what's happening. Literally just say what you see. In the video, there's a clip about just explain the facts. Then comes the second punch. Share your opinion. What's the real message here? Do you agree with it? Why or why not? Connecting it back to your own life is key. This shows you can go from just understanding to actually thinking critically, and that's where you get those big points.
Okay, so you've battled through all 3 levels. Awesome. But how do you get the high score? Well, the secret to winning any game is to understand the scoring system. So let's pull back the curtain and look at the rubrics.
Now, this is a real pro tip. The scoring is actually different depending on if you're taking the 4-point or 5-point exam. Check it out. For 4-point students, a massive 60% of your grade is just topic development. That means your main job is to explain your ideas really well. But for 5-point students, that drops to 50%. And more points go to your fluency and grammar. Know which game you're playing so you know where to focus your energy.
And let's be real, if you ever try to look up the official scoring rubric online, wow, it is a lot. It's pages and pages of educational jargon and percentages, and honestly, it can make your head spin. It's way too complicated.
So forget all that complicated stuff. We can boil that whole thing down to this. This right here. This is your final 9-point checklist. Think of it as your pre-submission check. Before you send in each answer, just quickly ask yourself, did I give an example? Was my speech clear? Did I talk for at least a minute? If you can say yes to these, you've pretty much already won.
See, when you really break it down, the COBE isn't some unbeatable monster. It's just a game. A game with a clear structure, defined levels, and a scoring system that you now totally understand. The strategy guide is in your hands. So the only question left is, are you ready to press start?